Just a second. Once it pipes it in here, yes.
All right. Let me,
We're live. We're good.
hi there. This is Painting Platinum 29. I'm Sadie, and got Justin here. I'm just gonna pull up the old chat. I don't know if we're live. We live?
Sleep alarm
Yes, we are live.
seems to.
You sure we're live?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
oh. Oh, hi, maybe one. Apparently we're live. Apparently you're right. All right. Let me get this chat out and go in. We're gonna continue the Learn to Paint Kit layer up with ol' hi Francis, ol' Rajat. It's not Rajat, it's Hajad. Damn it. I'll get there. Okay, let me. Okay, so got this guy. Oh no, I'm frozen on my big camera or my little camera. Shoot. Okay, no problem. There's always got to be some kind of technical difficulty. Okay, I think I got it. All right, here he is. Old Hajad pirate. He's doing great. We're working on it. So get my paints going. The last time, let's see what we did last time. We did. We did his shadows on his pants, sash and armbands, and vest. Hi, Jedi Jared. Hi, the Hatter. Frumpy Glass. Margaret. So I think it's time to do the sandy base. So, I'll go ahead and grab these. Got my Pokey tool. I cleaned my Pokey tool off last night, guys. I soaked him so he's not so raggedy. This guy. I made a swatch of our ReaperCon colors on a tile that are going to be released around ReaperCon. I might show that off on Reaper Live. I might just tease that. Reaper Live unveiling of I saw a label for it. Thanks. It's one of the knickknacks around the house that I'm like, I need him, but people have got to see him. You know what I mean? Hi, Scott Beetle. Yeah. It's my kitty. Last time, I think we had a unicorn. Maybe not even last time. I'm gonna have to look at. So I've got this like plethora of brushes. I don't know if y'all watched last time, but I got this plethora of brushes, and that's great and all. But now I need to make sure that I have the right brushes for the kit, so I'm being like authentic. Size 1 and 3/0 is what we're aiming for. So, old Justin, anything
Yes.
new and exciting at the Fort Worth office?
No, I don't think so. We for the first time, actually, I can share this story a little bit. I think it was Monday. Um, we had because as you can imagine, with COVID going on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But with all the people being home, there's a lot of door-to-door salesmen, right?
You're
And
kidding.
no, seriously, lots of them. You'd be surprised. I mean, they're just completely okay with it, right? But we had a young lady and a young man show up on the front porch on Monday. Typically, I open the door, and it's usually something along the lines of "not interested," don't want to waste you guys' time, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I was busy at that point, and my fiance opened the door, and she has a hard time telling people no. She wants to. I mean, she still wants to be nice about it,
Oh
right?
God, me too. I can't go to the mall by myself lest I
So
buy some cream.
there you go. There
Go
you
ahead.
go.
Go
And
ahead.
so what ends up happening, just let me fast forward about 10 minutes. There is a man standing in my living room, not with the lady left. A man standing in the living room, and a young man with him that I assume he's training in this salesman stuff, literally selling me a vacuum cleaner. I was like, the 20s are alive and well. That there is someone literally selling a vacuum cleaner door to door.
I was about to say this was on Mad Men. Betty let a guy in that was selling air conditioners during a heat wave, and Don was so angry. But on Mad Men, I think it was implied that Betty was just kind of lonely. Like she knew better, but she was getting kind of lonely. Maladrock, this is my palate pal, which has become a thing for me. He's just there for company. Um,
What's more impressive, City, is the guy proceeds to obviously demo this thing um, to the whole time. He shows me that it's got this function where it can like you can put it on a mattress and it's supposed to it's supposed to penetrate 12 inches and suck up all the dead skin and mites, all that kind of crap, right? Well, he put this on the bare mattress in our spare room, and literally in doing this, it tore a chunk out of my mattress. He literally messed my mattress up right there in front of us, and then there was this awkward moment where we just kind of it felt like a moment from Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it's like we met
when the
eyes and I was
music
like,
starts.
yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Oh
well,
my god.
this guy, I don't know, we didn't really resolve that on the spot, but I was like, it's really not that noticeable. I don't want to file paperwork and make this guy's life hell. He didn't really destroy the mattress. He just took a chunk off the top. I'm not too worried about it. We're not
Thanks
going to
for
sell the
the
mattress anyway.
Thank you for the sub, Maladrock. Sorry not to cut you
Yes.
off because that's a
No, no,
great
no.
story.
And so he did this, right? But fast forward, this vacuum cleaner, he ate up an hour and a half of our time, literally through every salesman tactic I've ever seen or read out of a book or seen in a movie at us. I'm not joking. Down to calling his manager in, different person entirely, to come to show up and then basically adjust the price a fourth time and then comment that he had knee problems and could never make it in the military as a result, and he had these unrequited love and dreams of going to the military. Mind you, the whole time I'm wearing 2 knee braces, and I'm like, okay, well, like you start to doubt all of it, right? You're like, this.
You're on
So,
2 knee braces now?
no, I mean, depending on the day. So when the barometric pressure changes, we talked about that. When the barometric pressure changes real bad, it can make. I think I have arthritis in my knees really bad, and it can make them hurt. And one of the better ways to keep me active is to then brace both of them. One of them is really bad all the time. The other one's not usually an issue. But
Gotcha.
I had 2 braces on just to be safe that day.
Gosh.
Because they were.
Just to update you guys. Well, first of all, I'm gonna mix this paint. And it's gonna be 1 drop woodland brown to 4 drops water, and we're gonna put it on the sandy base. But Justin squatted, and I've never heard of this. A chunk of his bone popped off, and he had to have surgery. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but that's about what happened, right?
Yeah, yeah. To boil it down, what happened was I was actually restocking the wall and internet when I squatted down to put something on the peg, stood up, and the joint in my knee. What it did is it took they said a quarter sized chunk of bone off of it like chipped a bone off of my femur, a chunk of bone off my femur. And he said it takes a lot to do that because the fact that it's it's your femur and apparently it's supposed to be hard as steel. He said it happened because he thought it was a sports injury that was basically one of those, like, it created a fault line and it just happened years later, right? It just was one of those things that was the straw, essentially, because it was a simple movement of squatting down and standing up. I wasn't doing anything crazy.
He was twerking.
Yeah, I was twerking in internet before it was cool.
I
Thank
wasn't
you.
there, but Victor told me twerking was cool already because we were talking about twerking in cosmetology school, and that was before. So
I
it
don't
was a
remember
thing. It might have just not. It was before twerking was
that.
mainstream.
Kelsey, that was, mind you, that was
Years ago.
that knee surgery
5
that
years,
was years
6
ago.
ago.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
had knee surgery
you
since
know,
then, and I'm fine.
you know how I know how long ago it was. You got dumped right after your surgery.
Yeah, let's put all this laundry on the table.
Sorry.
Yeah. I actually think we've talked about that on stream before. Yes, I did. I did get. She broke up with me in the middle it's not in the middle, 2 weeks into the rehab portion where I was living with my invalid grandpa and he couldn't
Funny.
put the machine on the bed for me, and I couldn't because I'm on crutches, and it was kind of a rough time. It was a rough time. But to talk about the vacuum cleaner, by the way, the
Let's
last
get back to
point
the
is,
vacuum cleaner.
what do you think this vacuum cleaner cost MSRP? Just out of curiosity, what do you think it cost?
Well, first of all, I've been using the same vacuum cleaner that my grandparents owned forever, so I don't really know. I'm gonna call it 850. Is it 850?
No, actually, the closest one was I may be one, and it was the Kirby. It was a Kirby vacuum, and the MSRP was $3,000.
Can't you get like a Dyson for that?
Dysons are even much cheaper.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna spend that much money, I'm gonna buy it from the handsome guy with the accent. I don't even know Kirby.
Well, no, the
Herbie.
guy's name wasn't Kirby. It's the Kirby. Okay.
I know it.
Oh, okay, I didn't
I'm
know if
just
you were
saying I
being
don't know
like,
him. And
well, apparently the Kirby vacuums are supposed to be well known like Dysons. I've never heard of
I've
it,
heard of
but
him.
not me.
Um,
But they reduced it eventually down to, by the fourth offer it was $1,600, and I'm like, dude, that is nowhere. Like, I need a new dishwasher and probably a new washer and dryer. All of those things take precedence over an overpriced vacuum. I'm like, I was like, really, this you don't understand this. You really shouldn't waste any more of your time. That vacuum cleaner has to be $200 before I consider it.
you know what I would buy if I were gonna buy something new and kind of expensive? Also, like, howdy everybody. Um, how's it going? We're doing the base wash. I would buy. Ed has this really fancy air filter that's a Dyson, and it filters the air when it needs to, and it has like an app, and it's really neat. Made me want one. Dyson just like it's kind of like you know how there are things that just appeal to your demographic, and it didn't used to be that way, especially because I was a kid and I was a weird kid. But now that I'm an adult, um, and whatever, like there are brands that their marketing really appeals to me, like Glossier. For whatever reason, do you know what Glossier is?
No idea.
It's cosmetics, but they're like no makeup, high nomad Zeke. And they're very, I don't know if it's hipster, because they don't really identify as a hipster, but maybe it's a hipster. I don't know what it is, but it does it for me. It, see, I'm sure I wouldn't like the makeup, but the marketing, the ads, the look, the packaging does it for me. Oh yeah, it's way too expensive. I don't buy it. But I can just feel myself. That and is it Urban Outfitters or American Apparel? I think it's American Apparel does it for me. Anyway. Yeah, it's all in pink and it's something about it. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I did this, but really I should have talked about something else first. Hi, Dr. Bob. Thanks for the subs. I'm going to talk about what we're giving away real quick. So, I said that we were going to give away the green steel and blue steel until we're out. So, I'm going to show the swatches of that. Green steel, blue steel, blue steel, green steel. These I've mentioned before. These are our pro paint. They're pro paint colors made into MSP colors. So I thought about putting them in the Pirate line, the Brine One line, but they didn't make it into that. So there's really not going to be another reason to make them again. So that's that. Blue steel, green steel. That's what we're giving away. For every 5 subs, we're going to give away one of those each and a Pokey tool. So that's what we got going there. Yeah. I actually got a gift sub. So double thanks, Dr. Bob. So yeah. So we have a little shadow on our base. I've told you guys what we're giving away. Yeah, Sharky in the Tent. I don't think my show gives away. Thanks, Bill Robertson. I don't think my show gives notifications for some reason. I'm going to make it about me. Take it personal. I'm real good at that. I'm going to take it personal. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't give notifications. Not thrilled about it. Yeah, thanks everybody. We're a given bunch. We're in a given mood. Spoon says I have a Google Calendar event saved to tell me when the show is. Oh, my show usually does. See, I don't get notified about my show. Maybe I don't care enough about my show and it knows it. I mean, I do, but maybe I don't watch it. I mean, I know I don't watch it. Watch it on YouTube to see what people think about me. Because I'm neurotic. Yeah, Rat Mastery, the only notification I ever get is Anne's. And I will get Ron's sometimes. Doesn't Ron have like an artist show? Sometimes, not all the time. Maybe I'm lying.
You talking about Bones 5 Live?
Might be Bones 5 Live. Does he bring artists on there?
Yes, he does.
Oh, Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob says, what will you be painting after you finish this pirate in another 3 months? Last time I talked about how I wanted to paint busts, but we don't have that many busts. And Ed told me, yes, Bill Robertson giving away for every 5 subs. So anyway, we don't have that many busts. But I got to talk to Kevin because Ed told me, Ed was like, you can take most of what we have, anything we have a digital sculpt of, and we can make it into a bust for you, barring any problems with detail, because the bigger it gets, you know, whatever. So anyway, I was telling Kevin this, and he gave me goodies, guys. Gave me goodies. Because Kevin is a saint. You guys don't know this, but Kevin, what's Kevin's last name? Is it Williams?
Yes.
Sculptor Kevin is a saint. Kevin gave me goodies.
Real quick, did we miss? I think we missed Bill Robertson's gift bomb. Thank you, Bill Robertson.
I think I thanked him, but I'd like to thank him again because that's awesome.
But yes, correct, Bill. That means that currently we're at 2 sets of stuff being given away.
So I think these are the Bones 5 busts. I feel like a real artist because I got a pre-boy. Got these ladies here. One of these has a dragon friend. I don't remember which one. Yeah, he sticks into here. I think that's the one. Yeah, little dragon friend. So, I don't know how he goes in there. I think I have to cut him off this base. I don't know. But yeah, so I got these. So I might do busts after this. I'd like to. I like big things. I like to paint, the last thing I painted was the New Year's Sophie. I usually don't finish. I usually, if it's a personal, if it's not for the show, I strip it down and I repaint it until I like it, which is probably never. Yeah, I like big busts, and I cannot lie. One of the original names for this show, I could not think of a name. I'm so bad at thinking of names for shows, was, I said something about being petty and busty. And, so we talked about that. Because I'm busty and petty. I like bust and I'm petty, rather. Let's see. Okay, somebody had a question. I'm so scared I ruined my temple dragon since my primer bubbled up when I tried applying it. I think I didn't wash it well enough. I'm going to scrub it a whole bunch before continuing, and I can't figure out a way to prop the parts up so I don't get fingerprints in the primer. Ooh. Oh, Emzy. How's it going? I can't help you there. Pins and sticky tack, I guess, would be ways to do that. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Dr. Bob. Time to paint a little more. sword and dagger blades. Okay. We are going to mix a drop of heather blue with a drop of ebony flesh and 3 drops of water. I like him to... There we go. What did I say? 1 drop heather blue. That's a big drop. Ooh, a metallic blue sword. Wouldn't that be fun? I try and stick to the script, because the last time I went out of the box, I messed it up. I think I did rose gold on something, or Sophie silver. I did Sophie silver on something that looked like crap. 1 drop ebony flesh. So I'll do the same size drop ebony flesh, like a big boy, and this kind of clogged. I hate when paint's like not fully clogged. I totally understand Dr. Bob, because I get anxious about a bunch of other stuff too. Like a bunch of stuff that's not, traditionally anxiety provoking. I think those are about the same size. So 1 drop of each. It says 3 drops of water. We're going to put like 5 drops of water. Because those are real big drops. All right. Yeah, I think I made this kind of proclamation last time, but if you're strictly after information, good sources would be Josh's show, Miniature Monday, and show RT. I'm bad at letters, Justin. Is it RTB Pro Tips?
Yes, it is. Perfect.
Okay, RTB Pro Tips. I usually mix up letters. And then The Crow's Nest, because I'm a novice. I don't even know if I'm a novice. I don't know what's before novice. Reaper Toolbox Pro Tips, exactly. Hello. You can come in. Hi there. Yes. All right. It kind of feels like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when people come in. So I made my sword and dagger blade shadow. We're going to wick our brush against a paper towel using thin paint. No, it wasn't Ron. It was Lauren, head of internet. Start with the side of the brush placed on the middle of the blade and paint a smooth stroke toward the hilt using the side of the brush. Repeat on all faces of the blade. Okay. Start with the side of the brush placed on the middle of the blade face and paint a smooth stroke toward the hilt. Okay, so this is something, I'm reading this carefully because I did this last time. I didn't do this as well. Yes, I am. Kraz Mad Sigh. I should show this off. The Learn to Paint kits, at least the Layer Up and the Core Skills kit, come with these little booklets. They're written by Rhonda Bender, and they have instructions. Oh, I wish I had the Core Skills one really handy, because it's got pictures in it of how things should look. Dang it. It's got like a little comic in it. It's cute. I think Izzy did that. Looks like it in Izzy. Oh. Yeah, if I see it like out of the corner of my eye, I'll grab it. But it's really cool. How many subs have we got, Justin?
Currently, we have, let's see, 11 subs.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a wet brush. I'm going to get this, and I'm going to wick it on my paper towel. Probably show that too.
Yeah, wick it real good.
Wicking is my favorite part of this hobby. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. I love Izzy. I'm like such a big fan of a lot of the artists that come around here. I don't want to be irritating, so I like never say anything to them. And I don't even think it would be the case. Like, I don't think it would irritate them, but still. Anybody else like really shy but not shy? I'm really shy but not shy. Got very, oh no, see, that was not enough wicking. Did too much wicking, then I did not enough wicking. Um, very specific social problems. Shy, not shy. That is not at all what we want this to look like. Just as an example of what you don't want to do is this.
Also, Margaret, that's the case with my fiance. She won't be returning until January of next year. So,
Good.
like, or won't be returning to in office, I should say.
Right.
She's working, but it's now her permanent desk is in the middle of a living room, and it's
Fort
just
Worth
been there
office.
at the Fort Worth office. Yeah, she works at the Reaper Fort Worth office.
It's nice of them to let her do that. Yeah, paper towel time. Oh, artists love candy, I hear. I should draw them to my desk with whatever paints they want to come grab. You know, Anne used to have stuff people would borrow. Maybe that's what I need. Okay, so I wiped it. I should have like wiped it, not wicked it away. I don't know though. That's not so bad. I like the kind of I don't know what you would call that. Like the barely dry little line there that gives it, I don't know if it's surface tension. It holds the water. Anyway, this is hard. This is the hard part. This is real weird times. I mean, we knew this was going to happen, though. We knew that, and this is specifically in Texas. I don't know about it anywhere else, but we knew that in Texas, if we opened back up, this was going to happen. And we did it anyway.
That is true.
And we did it like for the sake of the economy, but the thing is, the economy is going to suffer just as much, right? I don't know anything about economics, by the way.
Well, I actually don't think the economy won't suffer as much, but the problem is now what's literally going to be suffering is our people, right? And
Yeah.
that's because of obviously the disease. But no, I mean, as far as economically, I think we're better off, but that's at the trade of what, right? People's health.
Somebody
Which
told
is
me recently, they were like, well, if you just don't want to go to work, you shouldn't. And I was like, I gotta go to work. So I don't want to get sick. You crazy? I wear a mask and I do everything I need to do. I don't like mess around, but I do everything I need to do. The one exception is I did go to the art store for things I needed, and I did my customary dicking around in the whole store. Oh, because I love it. And most people are wearing masks.
actually they just stated that my county you have to have a mask if you go out to any businesses, and I haven't even seen in person. Like I haven't hugged my grandparents, either one of them, since January.
Yeah, Reapernomics with Sadie. Trasharama, I tested out of both government and economics in high school. True story. I was getting behind, and my teachers were like, "You're getting behind. You got to test out of some stuff." And I tested out of government and economics. Which I don't know. I passed the test, but I probably would have been better off to take the classes. Yeah, Comrade Corey, I do believe that everybody will get it eventually. So I was on this don't hug your grandparents kick for a while until my grandma started going downhill. So I got to where like I really wasn't hugging my grandpa. This is kind of hateful, right? Like I really wasn't hugging my grandpa anymore, but I was hugging my grandma like from behind. Was in a wheelchair, so I'd hug her from behind and give her the kiss on the head. But I wouldn't like get in her face. But the thing you have to weigh is your grandpa gonna make it through all of this anyway? I mean, it's so dark, it's so real, but do you want your grandpa's last whatever to be a hugless whatever amount of time? It's weird. But yeah. So I started hugging my grandparents again, and I stopped being an a-hole about people coming over.
Oh, I didn't even realize this, but there was an article that I got today as an update from a North Texas family that they threw a surprise birthday party and one of the relatives didn't know they were infected. Now 18 members of their family have it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the stuff you don't want to see, right?
Yeah. I had told Justin this already, but I live with my grandpa and my uncle, and we're about to go out of town for my grandma's funeral. I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and I had to get the cat's medicine, so I paid for it. And I told my uncle, I was like, hey, here's the procedure. You go, you call them, you tell them what car you're in, they put it on your hood. And for some reason, he's like offended by that. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and go in. And I was like, no, dude, you're not gonna go in. You're gonna stay in your car. You're gonna call them. You're gonna tell them what car you're in, and they're gonna put it on your hood. And he like wouldn't agree to it, so my mom had to go do it. I mean, I could have done it the next day, but thank you, Spoons. But I was like, dude, it's not like a competition.
And I think that's what tears me apart about the whole thing is there's at the end of the day there's not like people who are choosing to that they basically don't want to adhere to advices or it's not like they're winning, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone in this entire thing is suffering because as a good example, look at MZ. MZ says that she hasn't seen her boyfriend and or he or she whoever hasn't seen their boyfriend and they want to be able to do that, right? So like people on whether you're adhering or not adhering, everyone's suffering, and that's
Yeah.
ultimately the problem is that there's just no winning in this entire thing.
MC, I don't know if you were like lurking on here. I don't know that I've seen your name or if you changed your name or whatever. I didn't see my boyfriend for it was like 2.5 months.
And your boyfriend
Had it.
Oh yeah, had COVID.
Positive.
So
Actually, he went to try and donate plasma today to a specific person. Like somebody in the area needed his blood type plasma. You know what they told him? That to specifically donate to this guy, he had to pay them $200 and have antibody tests. Even though, awesome, well, welcome. Even though he got like a letter from the county health department or something, and they were like, hey, you're recovered, we need your plasma. So like he's confirmed had it, but he hasn't had an antibody test. Anyway, okay,
I see.
so we're supposed to go toward the hilt, and I am right-handed, so we're in a situation here where I have to either do this business or I have to go upside down. So I'm gonna try and go upside down. I was about to do the same thing. Okay. So we can go left to right. I might have used... See, I thought I used too much Heather Blue. I might have used too much Ebony Flash. Or maybe not, because we want high contrast. I got a model for our skin, but I didn't get a model for our sword. Because he was trying to give it to a specific person. He had to pay the $200. Allegedly. I mean, you never know. Maybe it was just some, what's it called? Some receptionist or somebody was mistaken. But I was like, that's so crazy. Whatever. That is weird as all get out.
I assume there's probably costs associated with that don't go into the normal process, right?
Yeah, I think
So
so.
it'd be like if we shipped out all of our products in 3 different boxes, and then if someone wanted a custom box, it would cost a lot more, you know?
I guess.
Same sort of business decision, I think. If I had to just rationalize it, I mean that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, Francis, I've had a fever of 99.4 to 103 since March with a few normal days temperature. I just got a negative result for COVID. You could have, this is the thing, you could have allergies. Allergies can give you a low grade fever.
Can it really?
Yes. Because it's
I've
like an
I've
immune
just never gotten
reaction.
one.
I
Oh, sure.
think. I'm not a doctor again. I just
Well,
pretend to be one in real life.
I was
Um,
always told that your body's when you develop a temperature to fight infection, right? And your
yes.
body's sense of infection.
Um, I don't know what to tell you. But I don't know. But yeah, so my best friend messaged me a few weeks ago and was like, the WHO just said you can't get it from somebody who's asymptomatic. And I was like, I don't know, girl. I'd take that with a grain of salt. And she's like, what? Do you think they're lying? And I was like, I'm just saying I don't buy it because I think this is, I won't get into this. I will not get into this. But I think my boyfriend got it from somebody asymptomatic. Hi, Rings Raccoon. Oh, the Saharan sand. That's something that could give you, I don't know if it's allergies or just breathing problems. Yeah, Francis, we would do it in a heartbeat, but we're just not, we're not that flush to where we can do that. I wish we could.
Yeah, I'm sorry for all the people that are having these issues with either respiratory stuff that's COVID or not COVID related.
Yeah, all
We
of it.
we care about people, but particularly our audience. You know, our Reaper peeps, as it were.
Reaper peepers, they're very important to us.
Yeah, you guys can't really keep being awesome if you're coughing all the time. You know, so
Um,
try your best to stay healthy, guys.
so then, like, I read more about it, and it was like, okay, I think you're. They say now that you're less likely to spread it if you're asymptomatic, but you definitely can if you're pre-symptomatic. And you don't know if you're pre-symptomatic or mildly symptomatic, not asymptomatic. Terrible. Terrible. So anyway, let the paint dry.
Yeah, we'll go with that, Spoons. Why not? Coughing people aren't awesome, and
Uh,
therefore contradicts what we want. So you better stop coughing.
that's right. Or something.
Um,
So we're
more
gonna
that we
repeat
don't want
this.
you to suffer, right?
I'm gonna turn this light off. Uh, so here I was thinking like using our model as a reference made my skin look a lot better, and it doesn't. It'll get there though, maybe. Okay, so I see a pretty stark line, and it doesn't look like it gets lighter from the tip to the hilt, which I think is what we wanted because, as we read earlier in the booklet, the last place, or somebody told us this, so you want to go toward the people, toward the area where you want the most darkness, because as somebody explained, where your brush leaves the surface is where more paint will deposit. Yeah, I think it's open. Get your hashtag freeze in for green steel and blue steel, which, hey, might never be made again. As far as samples go, like prototype non-oops samples, I don't think we're going to get any new ones in a long time. So these will be super limited, and we'll give them away until they're done. So for every 5, we're giving away one of each of these and a Pokey tool up to a point. And I'll tell you what that point is really quickly. No, I won't. Hold on. I put my little handy fan on top of my green steel. Okay, I've got 7 green steel. So we could get up to 7 times 5 is 35. We could do up to 35 of these. Wait a minute. If we got 35 subs, that's as many as we could give away. Yeah. So we could give away 7 of them total. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Is that all we have left?
Yeah.
Oh no.
For whatever reason, I had a lot less. I dropped my Pokey tool. I had a lot less of the green steel than the blue steel. So yeah. All right, next, we're just gonna call it a day on the sword. We're gonna do the dagger because I'm not that talented at that yet. That's something I need to practice. This is harder for me than eyes. And maybe it's just because I need to see what it's supposed to look like. A big part of art, let me talk about this a little bit. A big part of art, when I was in art history, I think, we discussed the way you abbreviate your art. So we don't draw and paint what we see. And every group of people does it differently. Like if you look back at the Egyptians, they abbreviated their art a certain way. They showed the face in profile. The hands were bigger. The feet were bigger. I'm trying to think what we do here. We usually start with the eyes. Maybe the eyes are bigger. Like we abbreviate in a certain way. So if you're not trying to draw or paint what you see, you're filling in the blank. And that's why I think it takes so long to become a good artist, because you really have to draw and paint everything to get good at it. And it just takes a while. Symbolic representations. Thank you, I may be one. I love that I can just bullshit and be vague, and somebody here is an expert on something, and somebody will always fill in the blanks for me. I love that. Love that about my group. Thank you, I may be one. Very educated little group. So do you guys, okay, so like I got this little hair on my brush that's like sticking out. How y'all feel about cutting that off? I'm not gonna do it now because I think I can. Hi Zero. Our hashtag free is open. For every 5 subs, we're giving away the green steel and the blue steel and the Pokey tool. So get in on that. But yeah. Nerd culture. I love nerd culture. You know, one time, my ex called me a dork. He said, "You're not a nerd because you have no special interests." Yeah, nerding was gate kept from me. But I think I did have a special interest. It was anime. I think that makes you a nerd, right? Comic books. I like comic books. I really like graphic novels better. Oh, this is interesting. Dr. Bob says, funny thing about Japanese big eye anime, it started with Mickey Mouse. The Japanese modeled their style after what they saw in Disney. Love Disney. Trasharama says, use some putty to change that treasure chest to make that a large loaf of sourdough or bread. The bread pirates of the Caribbean were feared back in the 1800s. Yeah, MC, you're a real nerd. Jeez. Oh, Izzy Lobo, if you hate gatekeeping, you'll like Reddit/gates open, come on in. It's usually like you think something's going to be gatekeeping and it's not. Love it. Oh, and did a demonstration about trimming a brush. It seems like she isolated the stray hair and used the blade toward the ferrule and used the ferrule's edge to cut with the blade. Yeah, I've done that. I just didn't know if it was the right thing to do. Yeah, just because you aren't into their brand of nerd doesn't make you not a nerd. Exactly. He was into Linux and computer type nerdery. I've never been into that. Not focused enough in that area. I won't say not smart enough because I do feel like I could learn it, but not focused enough in that. Okay. Made a little mess on his dagger here. Looks like he's been stabbing at some chocolate pudding. speaking of chocolate pudding, Justin, what was on the menu today? Was it a nug nug type day?
No, actually, it was a leftover bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from Chick-fil-A. That was about
Oh,
4 hours old.
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it was kind of stale already. Didn't taste very good, but it was readily available, and I was busy, so
I come from a big family. I will eat things cold and old. But I've heard, okay, so like I went to cosmetology school with a girl who had to microwave everything, and she told me that that's what that is. She said her boyfriend's from a big family, so she has to microwave everything and hope they don't get offended because when you're an only child, you used to like hot food or whatever. So like I don't care, but yeah, I don't know. And I also wonder if I have like an underdeveloped palate or something because I can eat really bland food all the time. Uh, but like my boyfriend, for example, if stuff gets too cold, he doesn't want to eat it. Or if stuff's weird, you know how like sometimes you get fast food, for example, and it's different, it's weird, it's like just not as good. You can't eat that. Can't do it. Ooh, MC says if the pirate bends the wrong way, it looks like he'll stab himself in a very uncomfortable place. You're right. See, that's why I could never get into drawing, or if I were into sculpting, I could never get into sculpting weaponry because it's an actual, like, there's stuff to it. It's not use your imagination type stuff. I do not like shadowing blades, guys. Sorry. A little bit more of that pudding on here. We're going to try and selectively clean up around it. And then I think we're going to move on to something else because I'm over it. And then I can come back to it and spend a lot of time on it later, like a finishing detail, because I might end up getting stuff on it anyway. Oh, you hear the paint machine trash aroma? Yeah, we got 2 people pumping right now. Oh man, we got some urgent kit shop stuff to do, and it's been a little bit stressful because we went above and beyond for this ReaperCon. We really did. We're getting a lot of stuff available to people, but that's okay. It's just part of it. That's why I've always considered myself to be immune to ReaperCon stress and laid back. I've started to feel it just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I do thriving crazy, so it hasn't been horrible. It's just been like, oh wow. That's something. That's something else. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit. Hi, Valander the Red. Stress is fleeting, cheesecake is forever. Valander says. Okay. So we're going to pretend that we've done that. We've done it. We just don't like it. Shadow layer 2. Skin. 1 part dark highlights to 1 part ebony flesh to 2 parts water. Now, if you'll remember before, we did 2 parts dark highlights to 1 part ebony flesh to 2 parts water. So we're reducing the paint to water ratio by 1 part, and we're making it darker. I end up using paper clips because I won't have a pokey tool like where I need it. Okay, so 1 drop to 1 drop to 2 drops water. I have gone back and forth all week about whether or not I'm going to drive myself to Nebraska. And I guess I've decided I'm not going to drive myself to Nebraska. I'm going to ride with my mom. But, like, really, it's been such a hard decision because I don't know. I'm so back and forth about it. I've never driven, like, 10 hours before. I've driven to Austin, so I've driven, like, 4 or 5 hours. And I really enjoyed it. Like, thinking about it right now makes me want to drive myself. But I was going to ask you guys what would be fun to look at from here to Nebraska.
I assume you're not flying for obvious reasons.
Oh, I don't. Okay. So, like, we just don't fly because we always drive. Like, we usually go to Nebraska. Like I said, I haven't been, but my family goes to Nebraska twice a year, and they always drive. I could fly, but it's in southern Nebraska, so I'd still have to drive for 2 hours. Or I'd go to Kansas and I'd have to drive for 2 hours. So there's really just not a whole lot I can do to make that easier. Plus, I want my own car. Like, if I'm going to go up there, I want to go look at stuff. Fun story. My grandma once took me to, like, the thickest tree in Nebraska. I think I was, like, 12. And took my cousins as well. So there's, like, 5 kids, 3 adults. We're going to go see the thickest tree in Nebraska. Maybe the oldest. It was the cottonwood tree, I think. Could be wrong, but I think it was a cottonwood tree. So we go out and we see this tree. Nobody cares. And my cousin, my, like, very smart, not bad kid cousin, points out that the knee to hip high weeds that are surrounding us is cannabis. Is what they call up in Nebraska ditchweed. It is full field of cannabis. So we all start laughing and actually enjoying it because we're in middle school and middle school kids are assholes. So I always tell them I want to go see that. What's it called? That thick tree. Tell me more about that thick tree. Yeah, I wouldn't fly anyway. Francis, I haven't flown since I was 7, and I'm scared of it. I don't know if old Frompy's still in here, because I think it scares him that I don't like to fly. But I don't like to fly. I'm scared. And I threw up in a what do they call those? A throw up bag when I did fly. Not a real pukey person, but for whatever reason, that taken off did it to me. Yeah, it's stinky. First time I smelled it, like, at a skating rink when I was in middle school. Smelled it on this guy, and I was like, he smells like bad BO. Like, horrible, weird BO. Does not smell good. To me. Okay, we're just gonna go and we're gonna shadow him where we've already shadowed him, but we're just gonna make it deeper. Ooh. Crowley spent his drive to ReaperCon last year painting in the back of a car. I thought about it. Even submitted it to the open. I really thought about it, but I didn't think I could. Plus, it's my... Okay, so, like, my mom's real chill, and my stepdad's, like, real particular. So I can't imagine he would be cool with me, like, spilling anything. I don't know. I back and forth on it so bad. I would get out and stretch my legs, but I wouldn't do it. I'm not going in anywhere. I guess unless I have to. I said today we had a meeting and they were talking about flying and policy and whatever, what we were to do if we were to fly, what we're to do if we're to, whatever type of exposure we take. We have to take time off if we're going to fly to be sure that we haven't contracted it. But I'm going to drive, and Ed brought it up, and Ed was like, well, Sadie's gonna drive. And I said, yeah, but I'm going to hold it all the way. I'm not going to stop anywhere. And Adrian was like, "You gonna wear a diaper?" Like that. Ed was like that crazy lady that went after that guy and wore a diaper. Anyway, whatever. Like, yeah, I might do it, guys. 6'5" pretty tall, Dr. Bob. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm short. I like to sleep everywhere I go, but now I snore. I don't know if I think there's something wrong with me. So now I don't like to sleep anywhere lest I bother people. I'm getting my own hotel room when I get up there just so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, so I'm just darkening. His hands aren't shadowed very well, but that's okay. They've also got a mold line. I told myself if I ride with my mom, though, I can do logic puzzles, which is what I'm planning on doing. So I'm giving him some just great cheekbones. And I'm just going with the sculpt. I'm not creating anything that's not already there. Though I would like to experiment with that. No, I'll stop, but I'll be really careful. I have my handy barbicide. Maybe I'll take barbicide everywhere. Though it does take 10 minutes and you have to soap and water everything you clean. So it's not like a quick cleaner. But I could do that. And I'm not going to be chilling with anybody. I feel like I told my grandpa, I was like, I'm not going to go to the viewing. And he's like, well, that's where everybody's going to gather. And I was like, okay, first of all, I'm not interested in the viewing anyway. But second of all, I'm not trying to gather. Don't gather. You're 84. Don't gather. Right? With the gathering. So, whatever. I packed him a bunch of masks. And I was like, just wear this mask if you go anywhere. So hopefully he does. I'm not super good at them, Francis, but I really enjoy them. They were, when you're a teenager and you have anxiety, and probably thankfully, you don't get access to good medications that'll end a panic attack. You just kind of have to go through it. Nothing fast acting, we'll say that. So that's what I did to control my anxiety. Sorry about that. Before I could get into a doctor to treat it medically. Dr. Bob, I'm probably about to put something on the chest just for you. Just for you. I'm trying to wick this away. But one thing I wanted to look at is there is this, you can't tour it right now, but if you look it up, it's called the Garden of Eden in Lucas, Kansas. And I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's this home with a bunch of concrete sculptures, and they are so creepy. This guy, I think I read that it's the oldest folk art structure in what's it called? The oldest folk art structure in American history. Anyway, this guy built all these concrete statues, and he married, I think he had an old wife and a young wife. I'm not sure which of them passed away, but he buried them in whichever one, in a glass casket or whatever. Really creepy place. Really, really creepy. So if you tour, I think you can see it. I've never toured. But it's pretty cool. If you're ever, I think it's in far northern Kansas. If you're ever around there, you should check it out. That being said, it's creepy enough. I wouldn't want to check it out on my own. You know, Francis, we've all got our stuff. I'd rather have anxiety than real bad depression. Tell you what. I only get depressed when I'm really anxious. Alright, so we're going to go back and we're going to shadow the pants more. Even though, to me, these pants are overly shadowed. But we're going to shadow them more because we can go back and we can glaze this. And if I understand correctly, the glaze is going to pull it all together. It's going to soften it. Which actually, like, that... What's it called? I'm reading and talking. That process of glazing to bring highlights and shadows together has helped me in digital art. I tried to do my own logo and it didn't look that good. November, so not quite a year ago, 9 months ago or whatever. I wasn't very good at it, but in doing this, I've gotten a lot better at digital art because I've learned how to kind of pull it together but still have good contrast. It's very useful stuff. Yeah. Hi, Zambies. Hi, Zambies party. We are.
Yeah, thank you, Zambies.
We're painting. Yes, thank you. We're painting Hajad Pirate, and for every 5 subs we get, we're giving away a blue steel and a green steel paint and a paint Pokey tool. Can't show you that because I dropped it on the floor. These are Pro Paint colors. Our paint used to come in pots. They were Pro Paints. We haven't made them in over 15 years. And yeah, so we're giving away these. These might never go in the MSP format again. As far as right now, they're not going in any line. I considered putting them in the pirate colors, but they didn't make it. So, one of each of these and a Pokey tool. So yeah. Right now we're shadowing him. We're about to shadow some pants. Again, second layer of shadow for our pants. Put that kitty right there. 3 parts heather blue to 1 part ebony flesh to 2 parts water. So total, that's 4 parts paint, 2 part water. When we look at the pants before, we were at 5 parts paint, 3 parts water. But it was 4 heather blue to 1 part ebony flesh. Now we're 3 part heather blue to 1 part ebony flesh. So you can see we're getting darker. And I think, it's hard for me to tell on this one, I think we're getting more watery as we go down, as we go deeper. So, 4 parts heather blue, 1 part ebony flesh. Yeah, it is Bill Robertson. It is the Pro Paint color. So, this is not in our line. Oh no, Trashorama just shadowed his pants as well. It's okay, because I've heard peeing your pants is cool. We'll call it that. 3 parts heather blue, did I say that? Yeah, 3 parts heather blue, 1 part ebony flesh, and 2 parts water.
Have you ever, Shady, have you ever had the people you were dating, like, wake up early the next morning with having urinated on the bed?
That's a really specific story, it sounds like, but no, I haven't. The only thing I've had, so I've talked about this party house I lived in, where it had all the guys living on one piece of land. We called it, this is actually cute, I didn't tell you guys this, we called it the Shire. But before I moved out there, the guy that I moved in and replaced had this bed. And this is something, okay, apparently this is something alcoholics will do. But this guy came out of the bathroom. No, came out of the living room and into the guy's bedroom and thought he was in the bathroom and whipped it out and peed on his bed. Because he told me, he was like, oh, this guy peed my bed. And I was like, was he sleeping? And he was like, no, he like came in and peed my bed. So apparently that's something that people do that drink, and also some people do. I do wonder if I will ever wet the bed again, you know, because I did when I was a kid. So I wonder if it's coming back, you know, if it's just dormant. Like I'll spend the night with somebody and I'll be like, I wonder if this is the time.
And yeah, here it is. I mean, I've had it happen 2 different times.
Were you drinking?
Whilst I was dating. No, not me.
Oh, the person.
Whilst I was dating 2 separate people. So
What?
it's not. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's uncommon because they were isolated incidents. They weren't problems. It just was sometimes, if your bladder's full and you're either too sleepy to get up, or maybe in your dream you thought you were using the restroom. Turns out you were using it in your bed.
That's what I had when I was a kid. Is I thought I was in the bathroom, but I was in bed.
Yeah,
Now,
I think
when I
it's
start dreaming about the toilet, I'm like, I know what this is.
I do too, actually. Every time I dream about it, I almost jolt myself awake.
Anxiety can cause it in adults. What I was going to say, I was going to go deep with this. We all know, or I don't know if we all know, attraction is usually, it is our, I don't remember the word. Attraction is deep, it's subconscious, and it's our kind of difficulties that attract us to somebody. Maybe subconsciously you're attracted to, somebody said maybe it was anxiety. Were these ladies drinking, did you tell me, or no?
No, they were not. They were both ladies were completely sober. Completely normal night. Nothing different about the previous day's behavior.
How far apart was this?
I mean, one was with
Doesn't.
one person,
Okay.
and then there were 2 different people, but they were probably years apart.
Okay, never mind. I was
They
gonna
were.
say
They
maybe it
were
was
indeed
a
years apart.
UTI, and that you were the spreader.
Oh gosh, no, not that close.
I don't know your business like that. Not all of it. Unfortunately.
That's probably for the best.
I've never heard the PP story. I just heard whatever the guys. I feel like whenever we all went to lunch together, the guys heard more of the stories and were like still giving you shit about it by the time we got in the car to go to lunch. Pee a little bit when I eat chili cheese dogs. Is that what somebody says? When I eat chili cheese dogs, yeah, could be attraction. Toilet dreams. My bladder creates a fantasy dream toilet, and my not in bed brain turns the dream toilets into nightmare filthy toilets I can't use. Wow. You know, a lot of comedians were bedwetters late. Sarah Silverman talks about being a bedwetter. And, like, she's a lot more confident than I was, because I think that her friends knew she was a bedwetter, and she journaled about dry days, or dry nights, and wet nights, or whatever. Would have never talked to anybody about it. I mean, but I think she was a lot later, though. Then, of course, you've heard the McDonald triad, the like starting fires,
Yeah, for
wetting the
serial
bed,
killers.
huh?
Yeah, for serial killers.
Starting fires, wetting the bed, and torturing animals. I've actually heard that wetting the bed doesn't matter, but it's wetting the bed after 12. Yeah,
Correct.
hashtag
Yes.
bedwetters.
It's
Not
really
anonymous.
more the abuse to animals and fire starting when in conjunction. Really, I feel like are more of an alarm because yeah, one of the tips of that triangle is really common.
I'll
The
tell you
other
what,
two are
though.
less.
My grandpa always called me firebug because I really like to, not large fires, but I'd like to take like an old cookie tin and set small fires. I'd like to experiment with fire on a small scale.
I did when I was younger, growing up in my grandparents' orchard, but more from like I had like a weird kick at that age of like liking the survival aspects of camping, for instance. For me, it was about building a campfire, not about just starting a fire,
Oh, not
right?
for me. I wanted to see how stuff burned. Uh,
Oh wow.
like I don't remember who it was. I think it was Giovanni Ribisi's character on Friends, who was like Phoebe's brother. Frank. It was Phoebe's brother, Frank, who I think when asked about his hobbies said that he liked melting things. And I related to that. I was like, okay. I too like to melt things. And I have one of my boyfriend's old hand torches. And so many times somebody's had a problem, like at work or at home. And I've been like, we could use the torch for this. And nobody ever takes me up on it. Like whenever we had the holes in the top of the caps. So our black caps had these tiny little pinholes in them, and we wouldn't notice until we would put them all in the bin and they would start leaking. And Ed was like trying to figure out how we were going to prevent it or know when it happened. And I was like, how about we just have all the stuff capped and leave it on the table and take a torch and just... And they were like, no, God, no, you can't do that.
I probably shouldn't admit this, but I'm going to.
Let's do it. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't admit this, but like I think the closest thing to heat or fire curiosity that I can remember that not so much that it overwhelmed me, but more like I had to resist it every single day was when I was a caster for about 6 months.
Oh.
I can't tell you how many times I wanted to just put random things in the melting pot of metal.
Weren't you here when we were discussing this? Because I outed somebody for putting a Skittle into the pot, and Ed was like, oh, we all did stuff like that. But what I heard was blood. I heard that if blood got into the crucible with our mix, our pewter mix or whatever it is, that it would, I don't know, something bad would happen. So what I've always wondered about is like a drop of blood. How long were you a caster? I didn't know you were a caster.
I was a caster for after the at the beginning of the Renaissance period. I know you know what that means. Basically, I was a caster for about maybe it was 3 months, 3 to 6 months, something like that, before I became Cindy's second.
Somebody said it would summon the Reaper. Oh, Chewy Boots. It would summon the Reaper if you got blood in the crucible. You know what I like to think about? This is going a little deeper than I probably should. But I used to listen to this, podcast, the spiritual podcast. It was actually really good, but funny enough, I downloaded all these podcasts and I realized it was a spirituality for men who love men. It wasn't just it was for everybody, I guess, but it was specifically a spirituality for men who love men. So I downloaded all of them and I was like, well, I might as well listen to it. And I ended up loving it. And part of what he talked about is the cosmic soup. It's like we're all kind of created from this cosmic soup. So whenever we will have QC miniatures that don't make it. They're underdeveloped or they've got flash, too much flash, mold lines, shift, whatever. And they have to go back into the crucible. So I did like to pretend that they were like souls going back into the cosmic soup. I don't know. Anyway, really fascinating podcast though. Loved the guy, and he actually passed away. Really interesting spirituality. Oh, thanks. Francis says I'm just scientific. None of those interests is about hurting anyone, just curiosity about the way types of matter interact. Yeah, for sure. Varl B. Jim says, when I was young, I used to collect those tire weights made of lead and melt them down and pour the molten metal over the walkway to our house. Instant slimes. I was a miniature sculptor before I knew what one was. Wow. You know what I wanted to do, and this freaked my grandma out real bad. I wanted to essentially modify Barbie. I wanted Barbies with different body types. So I tried to get Barbie's boobs off to like re-sculpt them. And my grandma found one that was like in the process, because it's hard plastic. And I didn't have fire. I wasn't melting them. I was just like trying to break them off, and my grandma was like, this is stuff serial killers do. But I didn't get to explain to her that I was augmenting her figure. Anyway. You have to really get to the bottom of why kids are doing what they're doing, in short. Because they're probably not... There's probably something different.
I mean, my brother, when I was, I think he was about 10 or 11, he was just chopping the heads off of army men with a pair of scissors, or cutting them off, I should say.
Did you ask him
And
why?
I did. Because the way this ended was he was paying attention to, at the time I was playing, I think I was playing Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion on the Xbox 360. And so he was watching me, and at the time he looked up and then he cut into it and cut off like the tip of his thumb.
No. Was he okay?
No joke. Well, it wasn't the whole tip. It was more like a corner of the tip of his thumb, like a nice big chunk. Enough that it didn't bleed immediately. It took a second.
I was wondering if your parents took him to the
Well,
hospital.
no. He went into the living room. My dad was like, "How did you do that?" But we asked him, and he goes, "I don't know. I just wanted to." So he didn't really have a reason. He just was doing it.
Oh, he had a reason. Maybe he didn't want you to know the reason.
That's fair.
Okay, we're doing the second shadow for the sash and armbands. 2-part dragon red to 1-part water. So just one color, water. Compared to the former shadow, which was 2 parts brilliant red to 2 parts dragon red. So half brilliant, half dragon. Now we're just doing dragon. I think it said, yeah. Oops. That was supposed to be thicker than that. That's okay, though. Those were big drops. Francis says, I hung yarn all over my room, hung the Barbies up by their ankles and arms because they were circus performers on those fancy ropes. Yeah, my friend did something similar in middle school. It's part of her decor. I think her parents were disturbed by it. She was really into some slasher flick, and it had something to do with that. Kept wanting to say Cabin by the Lake, but I think I'm confusing a few different slasher flicks. One might have been a little newer than that.
There's Cabin in the Woods. I think is that the one you're referring to?
But I think it's newer, isn't it?
Well, Cabin in the Woods, I think it's called Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, because I watched it not that long ago. It's from 2015, 2016.
This was a old slasher. Something by the lake or in the lake or I don't know.
You're not referring to Friday the 13th, are you?
I don't think so. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know next time.
Cabin Fever?
No. We're at about 4:20. Can we have 10 more minutes, or should we
You're gonna have 10 minutes. Just wrap it up. I'll give it to you today.
And then tonight, I'll show you guys on Reaper Live, I'll show you guys swatches of our commemorative past ReaperCon paint set. Oh, I did that blanket fort stuff. I love that. I still think about it. I thought about making this whole office into a fort. I still might. I thought about doing like tulle, like the tutu fabric, not the band, tulle tent. Kind of like, were you here for I'm trying to remember the circus ReaperCon carnival.
I was not here for that, but I helped clean up the after.
We had a tent, right?
I don't know. I don't remember cleaning up a tent, so I can't attest to that.
I think we had a tent. Commemorative. Yeah, that's when I saw that. I was like, ooh, commemorative. But we picked some colors, then we changed the colors back. Essentially, there's going to be Big Top Sophia is a good one. There's going to be 2 sets of previous ReaperCon colors, with most of the ReaperCon colors. If they're not in there, it'll be for a reason, which I don't know if I can discuss. Need to ask about that. My scope of knowledge of paint is pretty tight. I'm just now kind of learning about where the paint goes, how it goes, getting kind of a wider range of knowledge on this. That might have been the last year in the factory. Like hell year. I think it was 1 year that all the things that could happen happened. The year we had the golf carts.
Oh, everything's everywhere.
Yeah, we had golf carts. Everything was everywhere. One thing I noticed is that people, and I loved this. I loved that people could come in and get all the metal they wanted, but I noticed that they would pull it out and leave it out. So all of the bins were half pulled out and askew, so it kind of looked like something out of a Paranormal Activity video. It was pretty crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, this is what we're never gonna financially recover from this. We could make a Tiger King meme, but it was wild. Francis says I could have an artist make you a picture of your dream fort paint office so you could look at it even if you can't build it. I think I can build it. With my office, I've been, for the most part, I've been doing a better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission policy, because I don't want any of our guys that are working on the new building to have to help me with anything. So I've just been doing whatever I want and asking questions later. And in fact, I have fake ivy, and Ed was talking about, what did he say? He asked me if it was real ivy, and I said no, but I want it to be. I just don't know how to make it. And he was like, well, you could, but it would be a pain in the ass if you ever moved your office or left. So I don't know if I have limits. I like that. Everything's on the table. But yeah, I'm thinking about making it into a tent. And I mean, I already have my canopy, which I like, but a tent would be nice too. I like the fairy lights on top of a tent or canopy. It's a good feeling. Like, I will relax in my office during my lunch and kind of look up at lights through a canopy. It's a romantic, like, we gotta be romantic with ourselves. Part of self-care is romancing ourselves, I think. Not in a dirty way, in a loving way, in a wholesome way. We have to use our love language on ourselves.
Say what?
You don't know about love languages?
I do.
You do? What's your love language?
It's more the it's more the joke. Never mind. You said not in a dirty way, and of course I chuckled.
Well, you're actually a man. Not to be sexist.
That's fair. I mean, no, but you're not wrong. It's based in truth.
To cry some more. This is my palette buddy. He's just there for fun. I don't know that anybody else does that, but I like to do that. Love language, it could be cheesecake. My honey's love language is acts of service. So if he got home and for a while I was doing this almost retro sort of having a drink ready, like a cocktail ready for him when he got home. He really liked that. Or if I clean something, he likes that. Mine's kind of changed. I like words of affirmation and I like touch, but I like touch less lately. I actually think it's hormonal. I don't know what it is. I think another thing I've read that being a hugger is genetic. for women, not for men. So maybe I don't know. Maybe whatever makes you a hugger, I'm like weaning out of.
What are the different love languages exactly?
Acts of service, touch, words of affirmation, gifts, like when giving gifts. Oh, there's another one.
How inclusive is touch?
I thought we were off of this.
No, I'm asking because I think that's probably my love language.
I don't know, like if you like a hand massage, quality time. Thank you, Vaxar. I think I like quality time. Shampooing somebody or hand massage or a hug or a pat on the back.
I'm sorry, I read Greater Table Studios, and it says he gifts himself all the time,
That's
or he or
great.
she, and that for some reason made me laugh.
Shared showers. Yeah, quality time. Give yourself your love language. If you like to be touched, give yourself a nice scalp massage.
So you're saying I should, I should touch myself?
Yes.
Just want to
Or
clarify.
spend time with yourself. I would think if I look at my relationship with myself, I would think it probably is quality time because I like to go for drives and be by myself. I'm pretty sure I could. Y'all are awful, though.
Thanks, Rings Raccoon. That's
Cuddling, exactly. Acts of
and that's what I'm
service.
asking is
You could
is
wash your
touch.
car.
So touch, like that includes cuddle. Like that's
All of
what
it.
any intimacy,
I think all of
but
it.
but not quite the same as quality time, because I guess you could have a mix of any of these, right? So
Uh huh.
quality time could include touching, right? Because you may need it to include for your own satisfaction, right?
Exactly. To cry some more. No, I don't have any kids. I am my kid. That's why I get to spend this quality time on myself.
Since we're talking and there's only a couple of minutes left here, why don't you take us back to primary cam? So it's
Big camera.
yeah, the big old camera.
I got this candle for myself. It is a Dolly Parton inspired candle. It's from this collection of candles. There's like a Stevie Nicks one, there's a Cher one, and there's a Dolly one. And then there's a witch line, which has Sabrina, Hermione, and can't remember the other one. I'm gonna be honest with you. Can't remember the other one. No, it just has one wick. I'm not like super. It's a really pretty candle. If we're talking about candles, I'm really impressed with. I really like those wood wick candles. I house set for Vicky and Dave a while back, and she has the biggest bathtub ever. Like when I fill it up, I float. Like I can't sit on the bottom of this bathtub if I fill it up too much. And she's got wood wick candles, and I was like, this is luxury. I might have missed your joke. Let's see. Talking about the luxury of that bath. Does it have two big? Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. No, doesn't do that. When you're a kid and you like, I don't know. I really wanted to be like Dolly Parton when I grew up. It's not like the Paltrow candle. Do you know about the Paltrow candle, Justin?
No idea.
It's a Gwyneth Paltrow. I think it's Goop or whatever, and it's a candle and it says, "This smells like my vagina." Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
Gwyneth Paltrow?
No. I'm trying to absorb what you just told me. Are you telling me Gwyneth Paltrow is selling a candle?
Mm-hmm. And it says, "This smells like my vagina" on the candle. Dolly. They're called bijou candles. Bijou. And they're kind of expensive, but it's so pretty and it smells really good. And they come with these matches. And I guess while we're just like showing stuff off, like show and tell, we're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow's special candles. So speaking of fire and show and tell, so like bijou, and they have these wand matches. They're just big matches, but it's just marketed really well. toward me and what I like. And these are like really easy, light matches. Isn't that great? Yeah, Justin went to go buy the candle.
Yeah, BRB buying candles, guys. But someone said, who said? Someone said that's just a name.
What is? Oh,
Okay.
that it doesn't actually smell like that. I don't know because I don't know Gwyneth Paltrow that well at all. Never met
Right.
her. I won't drop one. In fact, Michael Collins said that he told me in the studio I was not ever to light candles. Ed told me he didn't think that was a thing. Oh yeah, fireplace matches marked up 1,000% for sure. Well, you don't know Sib Storm. Maybe one of us knows. Maybe that Chris Martin of Coldplay is watching. If so, come on the show. Come on. I don't go crazy with it, but I do like to. I'm just kind to myself as I like to be, and I like to buy myself things sometimes that are dumb.
Wait, did you burn your mic?
No, did I?
They're saying you might have.
Oh, did I? I don't think so.
On that note, we're
Can
a
you still
minute
hear me?
past.
We'll do the
Yes,
drawing.
I can still hear.
We'll do the drawing.
All right. Let's draw these two names here.
2 names. Oh, am I super quiet? I hope I didn't burn my mic. If not, I'll have to go upstairs and get into Justin's mic.
Yeah, no, you sound just fine. It just
Okay.
could be like visually on the outside. You could have scorched it. All right, our two winners for everyone listening and watching. All right, our two winners are ffranncess. There we go.
Oh.
And Nessephanie. Nessephanie. Sorry if I completely destroyed your name.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep giving these away until we run out because this is a special color. After that, we'll go into the samples that I have started that we're not pumping yet because we've got so much other stuff coming up. Congrats, everybody. So far, I'm making so Planar Crossroads can't enter our giveaways, so I'm making Planar Crossroads this like what's it called? This like care package of what I've given away. And I think I've put in my millennial sparkle, this like pink color. It's like a blush color. It's like really pretty. And the blue and the green and something else cute. So once I have the planar care package, once I have a full box, I'll probably send that out. Yeah, planar spoons. I'm making your care package. So I'm putting in all the little things that I'm giving away just because you can't enter. And if you can't enter, that means that you should get something in exchange. So yeah, anyway, it is 4:35. We're going to be back an hour and a half for Reaper Live. And hopefully, I have an experiment I need to do. Hopefully, I'll be able to show you 2 things, but I'll show you at least 1 thing. So.
All right, Miss Sadie, if you would, I have a couple of options here for a raid.
Why are you not giving me the full option?
I was about to say, hold on.
I'd rather get mad first and ask questions later.
Oh, sure, okay. Well, I was gonna say, why don't you choose who we raid?
Oh, it's somebody's birthday. I wonder what they're painting though. That doesn't look like Reaper paint. Just kidding. I don't care about that. I love you guys no matter what you use.
Oh, real quick, we may have already covered this while I was looking for a raid, but did you tell them what email they need to email?
Oh, email Reaper giveaways. No. Don't do that.
I'll go ahead and type it in chat.
Giveaways at reapermini.com with the show you won on, the date, your name, and your shipping address. And in the subject, include your Twitch handle. I was reading, Sharky says every time I choose a person, it ends up on NC-17 topics. Ooh. There is one, it's titled Let's Make Gerbil Thing Day 2. It looks like sculpting, and it is a gerbil thing. It is cute.
What's a name here? What do you got for me?
It's Shippochi, Shippocchi. Let's Make Gerbil Thing Day 2. There's a really pretty drawing of a fox in the background, and it looks like 2, 3, 4 sculptures behind the gerbil thing, she calls it. He or she, I don't know, it's a she. Just because the stuff's cute doesn't mean it's a she, guys.
Oh, this looks good. Let's give it a shot.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to raid. We will see you at 6 p.m.
For Reaper Live.
For Reaper Live. And enjoy it. I maybe one says gerbil thing, no chance of NC-17 there. Look, we did dinosaur teapots and it went awry, so whatever. Anyway. Well, we love you. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you again at 6. Are we leaving now? Should I wave? Should I wave?
You should always wave, Sadie. You should always wave.
Bye. We love you. Mwah. It depends. Sharp depends on when everybody gets in. I always get in 30 minutes early. It's never my fault.
Thank you guys for coming out. Keep being awesome. Thank you to the people who entered and for the people who gifted subs to make the giveaway possible. And since we saw, I think, 2 new names as far as giveaways go, congratulations. If you're new to the community, thank you for showing up. Keep showing up. We wouldn't mind seeing your faces because, we like our community around here.
We love it. It's a party.
It's a party. Say hello to Shippochi for us.
Yeah. Report back on
keep
what
being
that
awesome.
gerbil thing was.
Yeah, report back on what it is. And remember, guys, since you're part of this community, be nice to them, say hello, spread the Reaper love, and just be all around great.
Bye.
Right, Sadie?
Yeah.
All right,
Excellent.
guys. Hopefully we'll see you in an hour and 20. See you guys.
20.